Alright, everybody, before I start this episode, there are a few things I want to say. First is, I'm going to be doing just a lot of talking about some of the mods I have installed, not all of them, because I have well over 100 mods installed, so I won't be discussing all of them. But I will be discussing some of them that are kind of important to what you're going to see and how some of the decisions I've made specifically on what gear I'm going to walk out of Doc Mitchell's office with, and also what some choices I've made for some out-of-character reasons, mostly for your own enjoyment, as in allowing you to be able to see what I'm doing in certain parts of the game, as opposed to looking at a black, dark screen. While I might be able to see some of it, YouTube does make videos even darker. So if it is supposed to be dark, but difficult to see in the game when you're playing it, when it goes up on YouTube, it makes it even darker and basically makes it impossible to see, especially if you're watching on like a phone or a tablet or something like that. There's bright lights around you, you're on a bus or something trying to watch these. It's going to be black, it's going to be impossible to see, and I don't want to have to deal, I don't want you guys to have to deal with that experience. It's frustrating. The other thing is spoilers, okay? There will be a few things I'm going to say in this video that are spoilers for this game, that are spoilers also for Fallout 4, because I am going to discuss why I stopped recording Fallout 4 and posting the videos. There will be spoilers in there, just to make things simple. If you see something and you're like, why does he have that piece of equipment, or why is he using that, it is mostly so that you guys can see why is he wearing that equipment, because that's what I see my character Flint having as clothing when he was buried and shot. That's not much of a spoiler. That's in the opening cutscene of this game. So that's why I will have that equipment. There is one piece of equipment that I will have that doesn't really make sense, and that is the piece that allows it to be easier to see in really dark places, because one of the mods that I have installed, A World of Pain, especially, almost every area in that is unbelievably dark. Even for me to be able to see, I can see in them, but it's so dark that if you try to watch it on YouTube, you may as well just be listening to a podcast, because you won't really be able to see what I'm doing or trying to do. So yes, if you do not want to hear any spoilers for Fallout 4, don't watch beyond this point. If you don't want to hear any spoilers for Fallout New Vegas, don't watch beyond this point. I've hit real quick the important pieces of what I'm going to be discussing, but beyond that, you don't need to watch this beyond that point. But if you'd like to hear more about what there's a few other things in here, but you don't have to watch them to get enjoyment out of what I'm going to be doing. I've explained it at this point, so fair warning, spoilers ahead. You can stop the video now if you'd like, and if not, well, we're going to go into the game and go from there. Okay, here we go. Alright, so welcome everyone. This is going to be my Fallout New Vegas character creation. Talk about some of the mods. I'm not going to talk about all of them. I have over 100 installed, but some of the mods that might make you wonder what's going on, and also a bit of a rant about Fallout 4. I'll try to keep it short. Basically just kind of an explanation on why I stopped my Fallout 4 playthrough, mostly because I stopped enjoying it. This is going to be separate because it is going to be a little bit annoying. There's going to be menus, there's going to be pop-up things happening. and it's character creation. There's story to it, and I will do a little bit of the story of my character in it, but not a lot. Now, if you've never played Fallout New Vegas, this is, in my opinion, the best of the new, I guess, Fallout games, the first-person shooter games. And, well, I'm going to shut up for the moment because, ladies and gentlemen, Ron Perlman.
War. War never changes. When atomic fire consumed the Earth, those who survived did so in great underground vaults. When they opened, their inhabitants set out across the ruins of the old world to build new societies, establishing villages, forming tribes. As decades passed, what had been the American Southwest united beneath the flag of the new California Republic, dedicated to old world values of democracy and the rule of law. As the Republic grew, so did its needs. Scouts spread east, seeking territory and wealth in the dry and merciless expanse of the Mojave Desert. They returned with tales of a city untouched by the warheads that had scorched the rest of the world, and a great wall spanning the Colorado River. The NCR mobilized its army and sent it east to occupy Hoover Dam and restore it to working condition. But across the Colorado, another society had arisen under a different flag. A vast army of slaves forged from the conquest of 86 tribes, Caesar's Legion. 4 years have passed since the Republic held the dam, just barely, against the Legion's onslaught. The Legion did not retreat. Across the river, it gathers strength. Campfires burn, training drums beat. Through it all, the New Vegas Strip has stayed open for business, under the control of its mysterious overseer, Mr. House, and his army of rehabilitated tribals and police robots. You are a courier, hired by the Mojave Express to deliver a package to the New Vegas Strip. What seemed like a simple delivery job has taken a turn for the worse.
You got what you were after, so pay up.
You're crying in the rain, Pally.
Guess who's waking up over here?
Time to cash out.
Will you get it over with?
Maybe cons kill people without looking them in the face. But I ain't a fink. Dig? You've made your last delivery, kid. Sorry you got twisted up in this scene. From where you're kneeling must seem like an 18-carat run of bad luck. Truth is, the game was rigged from the start.
Okay, so that's how it all started. You get shot in the head, I'm going to say twice, thrown in a shallow grave, and then you wake up. Now there's going to be a whole bunch of this stuff after we kind of get through some of this. I'll kind of be Flint for a bit, and then we'll have a talk about other things. Gyp companions. This helps with controlling the companions. You'll see it. It'll have these icons over here if I have companions in my group. This is something that you guys might run into if you install Project Nevada. For some reason, at least for me, it installed all the separate Project Nevada DLC patches, so each one for each of the add-ons expansions, the, you know, Dead Money and Honest Hearts and Old World Blues, all that. So I had to disable those. They're still in the folder, but they are disabled. They are not being loaded. But the game, but that mod detects that they're there in that folder, and it says, hey, don't do this. And then install the all DLC patch, which I have done. The other ones are not active at all, so it should not be a problem. Yeah. This is something that I remember. I had a stash behind the Mojave Express in Prim. I should check if it's still there, and I will do so. That is one thing that Flint does recall. And more of the stuff. I have New Vegas bounties installed. I have 1 and 2 installed. I think I need to uninstall 2. Otherwise it may mess up the first one. I think you're supposed to play through 1, then install the next one, then install the third one, so on and so forth. But we'll go from there. More items. And now.
You're awake.
Doc Mitchell is going to look different. I have the Fallout character, or the Fallout New Vegas character overhaul, or character overhaul, whatever it's called, mod installed. All the mods are listed down below in the description, and it does make pretty much all the characters look different, as opposed to the vanilla characters. So,
How about that?
don't panic. More perks.
Whoa, easy there, easy. You've been out cold a couple of days now. Why don't you just relax a second? Get your bearings.
Well,
Let's see what the damage is. How about
I got
your name?
shot in the head, I think.
Can you tell me your name?
What is my name? Well, only thing I can really even think about right now is the feel of the flint digging into my knees as I was sitting there waiting to get shot. So, call me Flint. Flint's my name.
I can't say it's what I'd have picked for you, but if that's your name, that's your name. I'm Doc Mitchell. Welcome to Good Springs. Now, I hope you don't mind, but I had to go rooting around there in your noggin to pull all the bits of lead out. I take pride in my needlework, but you'd better tell me if I left anything out of place.
Now, I don't think I do mind.
How'd I do?
I think I was dead until you did that, so yes. Well, that is not who I look like. I look like, and all these are options for the Fallout character overhaul. You can get lots of options for who you are, but I am actually the courier, and specifically I am this guy. This guy with this, I believe. Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and put the beard on. Yes, and choose your eyebrows. We'll just go with the default ones.
Well, I got most of it right anyway. Stuff that mattered. Okay, no sense keeping you in bed anymore. Let's see if we can get you on your feet.
Oh.
Good. Why don't you walk down to the end of the room? Over by that vigor tester machine there. Take it slow now. It ain't a race.
Okay. Ooh, a little dizzy. Alright, well, we'll walk over there. Well, I seem to be able to walk. No troubles there, I suppose.
Looking good so far. Go ahead and give the vigor tester a try. We'll learn right quick if you got back all your faculties.
Gotta take those. No, Flint. Yeah, he's kind of tough. No, that's not toughness. This is toughness. He's kind of tough. Tougher than normal. About average charisma. He is not dumb. No, he has read books. He has done some learning, as it were, and would not be what I would call a stupid man. And he is fast with a gun. And so, about average luck. Maybe a little unlucky. But he got shot in the head, which is unlucky. But he didn't die, which is lucky. So we'll just say he's average luck. And I think that's Flint. I think that looks good.
Yeah, that's a pretty standard score there, but after what you've been through, I'd say that's great news. Well,
I'm not
we know
dead.
Your vitals are good, but that don't mean them bullets didn't leave you nuttered and a bighorn are dropping. What do you say you take a seat in my couch and we go through a couple of questions?
All
See
right.
if your dogs are still barking.
Oof.
All right. I'm gonna say a word. I want you to say the first thing that comes to mind. Dog.
Cat.
House.
Home? No. Not a choice. Shelter, I suppose. Day. No. That's not a choice either. I guess campfire.
Enemy.
Kill him. Swiss cheese.
Light.
Dark. Okay.
Mother.
Oh. My mother. I do remember my mother. I'm gonna have to say... I'm gonna say human shield, but not for the fact of using her as a human shield, but more as the fact that she tried to save me when I was being used as a human shield, and it got her killed.
Sometimes when
I
you give
just-
tests like
I
this,
just
you learn
don't-
more than you was hoping for, and
I just
reckon
explained
that's
to you
always the best thing.
what I'm
But I
talking
guess
about.
maybe it explains a thing or two about your predicament.
No, you got me all wrong.
Okay. Now I got.
You
a
didn't
few
listen to what I
statements.
just said.
I want you to tell me how much they sound like something you'd say. First one. Conflict just ain't in my nature.
I'm gonna disagree with that. I mean, I'm not constantly seeking it out, but I'd say it's a part of my nature.
I ain't given to relying on others for support.
I'm not gonna strongly disagree, but I am more than willing to accept help. Not that I necessarily trust people right away, or at all, but I'm gonna slightly disagree with that.
I'm always fixin' to be the center of attention.
I strongly disagree with that.
I'm slow to embrace new ideas.
I have some feelings about some of the things, like robots. Robots don't bother me, unless they're trying to be human. Then I kind of got a problem with them. Just doesn't seem right. Not much in a fan of lasers and plasma weapons, so I'm going to say I slightly agree.
I charge in to deal with my problems head on.
No. I was taught it's better to sneak in and get your first shot before they get a shot. I was raised mostly by a bounty hunter.
Almost done here. What do you say you have a look at this? Tell me what you see.
A canyon. Yeah, canyon. No. Okay. Not a choice. Angry two-headed ant. No, I don't see that at all. An oozing wound. No. Shadow in a door frame. Is that this little bit right here? That kind of looks like a door with a shadow. Alright. I can see chemical reaction, a broken chain. I don't see any of that except for this, so I'm going to say that.
Okay. How about this one?
A skinned animal or a tribal something. None of those are an option. I'm too embarrassed. Okay. A ship at sea. No. I don't see that at all. Okay. Some piece of space. It doesn't I don't get what I guess it's supposed to look like, so I'm going to call it a piece of space age technology because I don't quite understand it.
Last one.
Two bears playing patty cake. I definitely see two bears crouching down like sumo wrestlers. Here's their head, there's his ear, there's his head, here's his arm, and they are playing patty cake. There's another head over here. Definitely looks like two bears playing patty cake, which is not an option. Okay, a light in the darkness. Maybe a bearded man. I don't see that at all. A mushroom cloud. I do see a mushroom cloud. A head on a pillow. I do not see that. I guess I'm gonna say mushroom cloud because it's the only option that I actually see in that.
Well, that's all she wrote.
Okay.
I don't have nothing to compare it to, so maybe you'd better just have a look at the results.
Alright.
See if it all seems right to you.
Other than you took me wrong on what I was talking about. No. Guns. But these two were right. I prefer to use guns, not melee weapons, but yes. Bounty Hunter raised me. He taught me to shoot. He taught me to sneak up on people. Better to sneak in, get that first shot if you have to, than to and get the drop on them, than to run in guns blazing. And sometimes it's better to be able to talk somebody down into giving themselves up, as opposed to blowing their head off and taking them in dead. So yes, that looks just about right.
Before I turn you loose, I need one more thing from you.
One
I
thing.
got a form for you to fill out so I can get a sense of your medical history. Just a formality. Ain't like I expect to find you got a family history of getting shot in the head.
Ah. Now I have more traits installed. I also have Wild Wasteland integrated, so as you can see, it's not on the list. I already have Wild Wasteland. I feel like a Fallout game should have the Wild Wasteland stuff in it. Fallout 1, Fallout 2, I believe even Fallout Tactics had some weird things that could happen, such as encountering the Doctor's TARDIS or the Cafe of Broken Dreams, things like that. There's nothing quite that strange in this, but there is some strange things that the player would understand and get and see as a joke, but your character wouldn't necessarily. So I'm gonna leave it have Wild Wasteland installed because I feel like that's how the game should be played. And as far as my other ones, I've already picked them out. There's a bunch on here, but what I'm gonna choose is skilled. I am skilled but not experienced. I gain +5 points to every skill, but I suffer -10 from experience gained from now on. Now, that being said, with the number of mods I have installed, the number of extra quests and things that I will be doing, I don't think the -10% is going to make that much of a difference. And I do kind of feel like you level up a little too fast in New Vegas, so I'm okay with it being a little bit slower than usual. If I don't feel like it's right, there is a perk I can take when I level up that gives me 10% more experience, and we can kind of reset it back to basically 0, back to 100%. Also, Flint, he is a gunslinger. He is fast on the draw, he is fast when he shoots, and so I'm going to take fast shot. I fire 20% more quickly, but I am 20% less accurate. And that's always been something he's been willing to accept. I'll be a little bit less accurate if I can shoot at you 6 times the amount of time it takes you to shoot once. Surely some of those 6 should hit. At least 4 of them. So, fast shot and skilled, and as I said, Wild Wasteland is integrated. That is a mod. Wild Wasteland integrated is what it's called.
Alright, I guess that about does it.
Yeah.
Come with me, I'll see you out.
Okay. Now, a couple of things I'm going to discuss here real quick. First of all, I wanted to say a quick word on why I stopped doing Fallout 4. And the reason being, Fallout 4 is not it's a good game. It really is. I think it's well done. I think the combat is good. Other than the only complaint I have with the combat is the what do you want to call it? The need for it to be, if you turn up the difficulty, the only thing it really affects is how many magazines of rounds you have to put into a creature or person to kill them. It turns the enemies into bullet sponges, and that is something that I have always hated in any first-person shooter game, is bullet sponges. Unless they're meant to be. If it's a tank or somebody wearing tons of armor, if they're wearing power armor, I understand. But if they're a guy wearing part of a car tire strapped across his chest as armor, no. I think 1 or 2 bullets should be sufficient. But other than that, I think Fallout 4 is a good game. However, I do not think it is a good Fallout game. It does not embody what I see as the magic ingredients that you put into a Fallout game. It does not have the choice of being whatever you would like to be. Can't be a raider. Not really. There's no raider faction. There's no raider town. There's no evil path through the game. But that being said, almost all the paths end with you being one of the most evil human beings who has ever walked the earth. There is not a political, speech-enabled method of finishing that game. You cannot bring peace to the wasteland via words, which was something that was always pretty much possible in the other games. Speech was a way to finish the game. As a matter of fact, Fallout 1 speedruns, you can beat that game in about 12 minutes, 13 minutes, using speech and speech alone. So, yeah, I don't think Fallout 4 embodies what a good Fallout game is. I did not want to end that game being a complete psychotic mass murderer of women, children, men, innocents, non-combatants, and everyone else just because I chose to help this one side, and they decided the only way that this could be fixed was for me to murder everyone else. And as I said, in some cases, that includes children. It did not feel like it fit who they tried to force your character to be, which is another problem. They force you to be this kind of character. Like I said, you don't really get a choice on what you want to be. The other Fallout 3, to a lesser extent than Fallout New Vegas, but both of these, New Vegas and Fallout 3, you can kind of be whoever you want to be. You want to be a psychotic murderer? You can be that. You want to be somebody who's more of a pacifist and only fights when they have to? You can do that. But you're not going to do that in Fallout 4. That's not going to be a choice. You are a soldier if you're a man. You're a lawyer if you're a woman. And dang it, you're still going to be a murdering bastard, basically, by the end of the game. There is no way around it. Which, honestly, the ending of my Fallout 4 playthrough is, after seeing what was going to be required of him, after seeing how psychotic all of the factions in the wasteland were, including the Minutemen, who weren't psychotic necessarily, but were so pathetic that they couldn't even take care of themselves, even after being established by me, my character gave up hope and walked off the Commonwealth and just wandered the wastes till he died, living or dying, however that happened. He went to be by himself because he did not understand the world he was in, and he wanted no part of it. So there's the ending to Fallout 4 on my playthrough. Fallout 4 is not a good Fallout game. It is a worse Fallout game than Fallout Tactics, which is the one that most people point to and say, this is the worst Fallout game. I don't really agree with them. I didn't agree with them before, but I don't think it's a bad Fallout game. It's a different one. And the reason why it's okay in my head and in my enjoyment is it's not called Fallout 3, it's called Fallout Tactics. It's something that you should expect a completely different experience set in the Fallout universe. And if they had called Fallout 4 Fallout Stories: The Commonwealth, I probably could have got behind it and been okay with it. Maybe. But they didn't call it that. They called it Fallout 4. And I'm having a real hard time getting into that game. Because my brain keeps saying, this is not a Fallout game. Now, all that being said, a couple things about the mods that I'm going to be using. I have a ton of mods installed. Project Nevada, I have Dynavision. I'm going to alter it right now. I'm going to light that up, camera. I'm going to change this just because it's hard on people sometimes to watch things focus in and out on a video. It can also cause problems with artifacts and things. So I'm going to put it on so just the horizon is blurry and everything else is clear, basically. The weapon mods, repair, I told you about this. I do have this. This is supposed to be the looting system for Fallout 4 implemented into Fallout New Vegas. I will deal with it later. Advanced Recon settings. Oh, I have also installed a mod that changes how the Advanced Recon Ranger gear works. It makes it much cooler, much more fun. It's in the mod list down below. I can't remember what it's called, but you'll see it. And the reason why I have also installed with that comes a little cheatsy doodle thing that lets you install all the pieces in, or they all appear in Doc Mitchell's house, is because I think it's one of those two, I think. And now it's not. Oh, I got to get my stupid Pip-Boy. All right, we're gonna talk to Doc Mitchell again. Back in character.
Here, these are yours.
Thanks.
Was all you had on you when you was brought in. I hope you don't mind, but I gave the note a look. I thought it might help me find a next of kin, but it was just something about a platinum chip. Well, if you're heading back out there, you ought to have this. They call it a Pip-Boy. I grew up in one of them vaults they made before the war. We all got one. Ain't much use to be now, but you might want such a thing after what you've been through.
Well, it's awful nice.
I know what it's like having something taken from you. And put this on too, so the locals don't pick on you for lacking modesty. Never was much my style anyway.
Thanks for patching me up. You shouldn't have gone through my stuff. What? No. What do I do now? Well, I think I better thank him for doing all that for me. Get me back on my feet.
Don't mention it. It's what I'm here for. You should talk to Sunny Smiles before you leave town. She can help you learn to fend for yourself in the desert. She'll likely be at the saloon. I reckon some of the other folks at the saloon might be able to help you out too. And the metal fella, Victor, who pulled you out of your grave. Anyway, you ever get hurt out there, you come right back. I'll fix you up. But try not to get killed anymore.
I'm going to turn this on. It won't actually activate. Okay, so I have the Pip-Boy 2500. It changes the Pip-Boy from the one mounted on your arm to like a tablet version similar to what was in Fallout 1 and 2. I kind of like it better. I think it looks nice. And I have the Groovatron installed. The purpose of this, most of this I'm not going to use, but the purpose of this is to allow me to move characters out of my way, particularly followers, who will follow you into a room, stand in the doorway, and not let you leave. So, That's kind of why it's here. For instance, I can grab somebody, I can move them around, and I can put them, whoa, wherever I want. And then they'll go on about their business, but they'll be out of my way. They went that way. Alright, so that the items, apparel, I think it's, no, I've got the wrong ones. I didn't grab the right ones. Where's the, must be this one. Hold on. I believe it's this one that I want. Yes. Okay. So this is a Nightvision goggle system. I'm going to take this one. I'm not going to take the rest. I'm going to leave them right there. I'm not going to take them and sell them. I would have tons of caps if I did. Some of those are 800-900 caps a piece. I'm not doing that because it will break the game. I'm not going to even sell this one if I reach a point where I can find all this gear out in the wasteland somewhere. If I find something like it, I will drop this on the floor and take what I found instead. Because the reason why I have it is there is the ability to brighten things up. Oh, I don't have any power cells. There's some in this box. Oops. Okay. I don't know where I gotta do some other settings and menus and stuff. But you can make things brighter. Oh, I still got it set on that. I'm gonna change that so it doesn't do the circle thing. But I can do a little bit of night vision in dark places. And the reason why that's important is because I have a World of Pain installed, and a World of Pain, almost every one of its interior areas is so unbelievably dark, it's difficult to see. Which may be the intent. However, that makes it very even more difficult to see once it gets uploaded to YouTube. YouTube makes everything darker. So something that is nearly impossible to see becomes completely impossible to see. Anything that is difficult to see makes it nearly impossible. As you can see, it just makes it worse. So I will be having this solely for the purpose of, if I enter one of those areas and it is too hard to see, I will be fixing that. I will be putting that on so that when you guys are watching, it's not the equivalent of watching a podcast because it's so dark. And that becomes even more pronounced if you are, in fact, watching on a tablet or a phone and you're out in the sunlight. It becomes so dark, it's pitch black. You can't see. And that's not very exciting to watch. So instead, as I said, it has several settings, and we'll see what works. One just makes it brighter like that, and then the other one is actually night vision of differing levels, and I will just have to see what I think is going to work, and we'll figure it out as we go. But I won't be using that except for that purpose. At nighttime, I might put it on if it's too dark out in the wasteland, but it shouldn't be too bad, I don't think. Also, the clothing and equipment that I now have. I have ridiculous things. I have a grenade launcher. I have, I don't know, all sorts of things that my character just would not have been buried with, would not carry on him, would not wear this. He would wear his clothes that he had, his gun-slinging outfit, so when we come back, you will find that in the next episode, I will be wearing a different outfit. I will not have a lot of this stuff. I will go ahead and go and sell it and kind of replace the supplies that I have with those things that I sell. I will have an eye patch, a hat, gunslinging outfit. I've already picked up the spurs off the top of the thing, the lucky spurs, and yeah, that will be what I am. So I am going to loot Doc's office. I will then get the stuff I'm supposed to have that I feel like Flint would wear and have to kind of make out the character. And yeah, so I will look slightly different when you see me next. For one thing, if you look at his face, You can see it there above his left eye. There is a bullet hole. There's also a graze bullet across his right temple. This is why I say he's been shot twice. That might just be where he cut in, but I don't know why you would cut into the right side of someone's face to dig out something on the left side of their face or their head. Maybe the angle was just that way, but I don't think so. So I'm gonna do that. He'll have an eye patch because he can't. I have decided that he can't see out of this left eye, which is fine. He aims with the right one, and I think that's about it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you guys all later.